back. I'm going to give YouTube some time to send those notifications out. But meantime, in between time, I'm just going to rock out with y'all. Let me see here. Let me see what type of time they on right now. Okay. We're going to get to the news. We're going to get to the news.
Okay, it's Mr. Controversy, moving with this urgency. Got these bammers dissing, who really done just learn from me. Hope they praying fervently, cause everything you sow you reap. Scared to let me free, I broke the chains and I'ma play for keeps. Product good at hard living, authentic talent, God-given. Oh, nigga, get some hard, will you? Break apart the system with this spoken words. They know the flow is vicious, never learn. When my kindred show me love, you know it's well deserved. Yeah, I'm blessed beyond belief, they thought I crash and burn. I shook the hornet's nest without getting stung. I'm battle tested, Aki scriptures got me through the slums. Now I'm chilling, son, praying that his will be done. Standing on his word, steady shining like a billion suns. Army of one, and if I chase them, they gon' still run. Double honors to the prophets and the fearless ones. Double honors to the prophets and the fearless ones. We shining like a billion suns. We must be the chosen ones. Praying that his will be done. Lord, come get us out the slums. Who am I? The one that failed 7 times and got up. They wishing that I never tried. These devils know that they time's up. Repentance, this the product. Used to pick me out of lineup. Now the nation wrapped up. Reparations getting piled up. It's high times, let's mount up. Let's break bread and get a crowd some. The government just give us crumbs. It's our time, let's get it done. Sun rays on the billion. What's in the dark, revealing them. This bar game, titanium. The real ones, no fading them.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest. Which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money. Teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farm. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. This is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We shining like a billion suns. Hey, hey, hey. We must be the chosen ones. Hey, 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 hey. Praying that his will be done. Hey, 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 hey. Lord, come get us out the slums.
Shining like the sun.
You know we shining. You know we shining, shining like the sun. You know we shining, you know we shining, shining like a billion suns. We must be the chosen ones, praying that his will be done. Lord, come get us out the slums.
Man, y'all gotta go over there on Nubreed Universal ENT, man. It's too much good content over there, too much good music over there, too much talent, you know what I'm saying? But man, y'all gotta check me out. Matter of fact, after this stream, I'm gonna be going over there and doing my creative 1-2 thing, right? But look, we got more news. We got more news. Welcome, first of all, welcome all of the new subscribers, man. We officially hit 198,000 subscribers today. We are only 2,000 subscribers away from 200,000. That's right. That's right. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get that 200,000 by June, man. We gotta get that joint by June, y'all. So you know how to move, man. You gotta like the videos. Excuse me. You gotta like the videos. You gotta share. You gotta take to the comment section. You gotta engage. And shout out to all my day ones, man, that been around from the get-go. You've been there from the beginnings, man, the humble beginnings to this platform amassing this many people. When I started YouTube, I didn't think it would get this, you know what I'm saying, big of a platform, but that we're here. We're here, right? So look, we got news. Now, welcome to one of the most controversial political analyst channels you will find. I'm not paid by any political parties. I'm not affiliated with any lobbyists. I'm not a part of anybody's campaign. You know, some people consider my political content to be satire with a lot of truth involved, right? It's entertaining, it's often comedic, but it's also truthful. And so I go right down the middle. Like I said, I ain't no Democrat, I ain't no Republican. I know that it's two wings of the same bird. You know, I'm simply just a person who believes in the Bible, and I go straight down the middle, right? Now, Trump is in the news, y'all. There's been talks of a recession for the last few weeks, and it has been nothing but speculation. Well, today, our president, Donald Trump, has confirmed that there will be a recession. That's right. And this is in the midst of all of the, tariffs that he put out on various countries, the trade war between the United States and China. Now we are here. We are on the precipice of great change in the country. I just want to put it out there. We are on the brink of great change in the country. Now, I don't know if people are thrown back by Donald Trump's confidence, and he's able to get on stage and tell blatant lies. I pulled out a lot of receipts on him getting on stage and lying, saying things like gas is low as it's ever been, is $1.80, and then come to find out that's a lie, right? And it seems that people are brainwashed. And, if I was a person who was in the politics, I would have chose Trump too, because the other selection was Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris had abortion bans at the DNC, and I'm a pro-life advocate. So that doesn't really speak much, me saying that I would have voted for Kamala. I mean, Kamala, she pulled the black card when she's an Indian woman, Middle Eastern Indian woman. All of the pandering that the Democratic Party did, it is what it is. I would have chose Trump too. So I'm not here to bash people. I'm not here to bash you over the head if you went out here and voted and you chose Donald Trump. I get it. You don't have much to choose from, right? We don't have much to choose from. But nonetheless, I want to talk about what's happening right now in the news. So Trump says it's okay. Trump says it's okay. Tariffs lead to short-term recession. So we're confirming that a recession will take place. And what a lot of people fail to realize is this is not a recession. This is the beginning of the fall of the economy. And there's a difference. There's a huge difference. Everybody thinking this is just a recession, but in actuality, we're seeing more of a depression. more of a depression, right? Because a recession, it bounced back real quick. A depression is going to last for a while. It's going to have some civil unrest involved. And it's going to be, something that takes a while to pretty much hash out. This ain't going to be an overnight change when things do get better. And when things do get better, it's only going to get better for the rich. Let's make that very clear. Everything Trump has been doing so far benefits the rich. It doesn't benefit the poor, right? But anyway, let's go.
Significant factor in the auto industry. Previous auto tariffs left U.S.-made cars mostly untouched. But with this new tariff in place, there's not a single U.S. car manufacturer that will get a pass. The CEO of General Motors told CNN the tariffs would cost the company between $4 billion and $5 billion this year. So what does this mean for car buyers? We may not see any price hikes in the short term. Experts estimate, though, the added cost of the tariffs eventually could average to about $4,000 per vehicle. But Trump doesn't seem worried about how these tariffs will affect the economy. He actually said it's okay if the country takes an economic downturn in the short term. CNN's Jeff Zeleny has more from the White House.
Omar, as President Trump spends a working weekend at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida, the economy remains front and center on the minds of the challenges of this White House, of this administration, even as the White House is releasing its budget blueprint, if you will, to slash spending across the government. The president was asked about the question of a recession by NBC's Chris.
So Trump was asked in a very candid interview, Trump, is there going to be a recession? And they're not lying at this point. Yep, somebody said John Todd and Bill Cooper tried to warn us. Exactly. What they're doing right now is called economy shock. And, I'm going to tell you right now, we, the people, we have the power only if we are aware. And they want to stop us from waking up, but I see that a lot more people are gravitating towards the truth nowadays when it comes to what's really happening. Even people who had their head in the sand, I'm meeting a lot of people that's like, you know what? They're pretty much giving up on politics. They're tired of relying on the government. They're tired of relying on something to change, right? But anyway, let's continue.
Walker.
And that's my question,
Remember
the
this.
long term.
Yeah.
Is it okay in the short term to have a
Remember
recession?
this. Look, everything's okay.
Look, he don't sound too damn confident, y'all. He don't sound too confident at all, man. Everything is okay. I mean, bruh. Nah, listen, I read nonverbal communication, body language. The way he's hunched over, just everything about this. I don't know if are they playing with us, y'all? Like, what y'all think? Am I tripping? Are they doing this on purpose? Eyes down, it just doesn't really look confident in what he's saying. Like, are they playing us right now? Because it's a dead giveaway. That's what I'm saying. You know how somebody would say yes, but be shaking their head no? That's what he's doing. Like, this is a clear indicator of a liar. Hey, look, politicians, if their mouths are moving, they lying.
Is it okay in the short term to have a
Remember
recession?
this. Look, everything's okay. What we are,
How you say yes, everything's okay, but shake your head no?
everything's okay.
Let me tell y'all something here. Let me teach y'all something one-on-one. When somebody shakes their head no and they say yes, they are lying. All right? It's a bold-faced lie. Everything ain't gonna be okay. Everything is not gonna be okay. Not for the country, but for God's people, we're gonna be just fine. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be good. But as a whole, It's about to get Bubba Sparks ugly, ugly, ugly. I'm telling you. Yeah, that Manchurian candidate is folding. And we putting the pressure on him, bro. I'm telling you. He was like, yo, them Israelites still know the truth. We got this Nubreed guy getting 70,000, 80,000 views. How did that even happen? How does that even happen? How is he still being able to inspire people? We done shadow banned the man's channel. Yeah, we still know. Message got to go out. Because believe it or not, man, you had a lot of ussins. You had a lot of ussins fall for the hokey doke. Anyway, let's go.
What we are, I said, this is a transition period. I think we're going to do fantastically.
The president talking about a transition period, that is something he certainly did not talk about when he was running for office, when he promised to lower prices on day one. But there is no doubt about it. The president is simply trying to buy more time for the economy to get back up to speed, even as the administration tries to ink some type of a trade deal that so far has been elusive. Jeff Zeleny, CNN, the White House.
Man, listen, Trump was set up to do this on purpose. I know y'all believe Trump is a U.S. hero. No, America's going to fall in 1,000 pieces. He was set up by the elite, just like every other president that was sworn in. It's about time that we all start studying to show ourselves approved and look back on the history. Look, I be recommending books. I recommended this one, Behold a Pale Horse, but I got another one too, man. Listen, all your presidents, this is Jim Mars right here. He wrote this. All your presidents are skull and bones. They all skull and bones. They all part of a fraternal order. They all part of it. Yeah, they all part of the 322. They all puppets. Every last one of, yeah, look, man, listen, man. This to all the cult followers, right? Donald Trump was on a reality show. He's an actor, people. Wake up. They put him on a reality show. Look, they put him on, look, let me see if I could find this clip when he was on damn Fresh Prince. Y'all might have seen it. He was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air saying they blame me for everything. Look, he was already set up to be the fall guy and to be the blame back then. He been around since the 90s, all on TV shows. Yeah, he was on The Apprentice. Look, man, actors are always acting, bro. He was handcrafted, selected, molded. The man was on WWE wrestling Vince McMahon, bro. Like what? Like America, are we? Yeah, he was on Home Alone too. Come on, man. Like America, come on, man. Come on now. He was talking about tariffs back in 1990. He's a caricature. And if you believe that damn fake ass assassination attempt, I don't know what to tell you. I know you want to have this false sense of hope as if he's not working with them people. I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump is compromised too. And pretty soon I'm going to bring out man, y'all not ready. When I really go to do my deep dive on Donald Trump, when I do my deep dive on Donald Trump, the world is going to be shocked at what I bring out. The entire world is going to be shocked. Matter of fact, it might not be, because I'm more than likely, I'm going to make that available for Patreons only. I ain't lying. That's going to be on Patreon only. If you're not a Patreon, become a Patreon, because I'm working on a deep dive on Donald Trump that you do not want to miss. You don't want to miss it. And I don't want to put it out here on this public forum. Nope. Nah, y'all ain't finna have Secret Service wondering how I know what I know. Nah. But anyway, let's continue.
All right, Jeff, thank you. Joining me now is Republican strategist Brian Robinson and Democratic strategist Theron Johnson. Thank you both for being here. Brian, I'll start with you. Let's just pick up where Jeff left off there on the economy, because yesterday's jobs report was strong.
Yeah, y'all not finna have a Men in Black suit show up on my doorstep. with a damn nebulizer, trying to make me forget my memory and all that. Nope. Hey, the men in black do exist too, y'all. And they do got nebulizers. Facts.
Stronger than expected. Stock market has rallied. Consumer sentiment very low, lowest level since May 2020. And then Trump tells NBC he would be okay if the economy slipped into a recession in the short term. I want.
He'll be okay if the country slipped into a recession. There you go. Trump confirms that we're going into a recession. But I'm going to tell you, it's more like a depression. Listen, what Trump is doing, there's no turning back from it. Even Elon had to step away. Even Elon was like, yeah, I'm going to go back to Tesla. This Department of Government Efficiency, hey, this a bit much for me. I'm stepping away.
Wonder what you make of the economic picture right now, and do you worry about?
Somebody said a nebulizers for asthma. Well, what is it called? It starts with an N. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Damn it. You right though. I forgot what that damn thing is called on Men in Black. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
It for Republicans.
Well, there's still a lot of really good economic news. The headline on the top of the Wall Street Journal right now is economy remarkably resilient despite.
Listen, they're manipulating the economy. They're actually calling the shots. There's something I want to read to y'all from Behold a Pale Horse. Yeah, neuralizer. There it goes. It's called a neuralizer. It's something I want to read from this book here, right? And what they're doing to the economy. It's going to make total sense what's happening right now. It's going to make total sense. Hold on. I'm gonna get that. Let me pull this up. I'm going to show you how they're weaponizing the economy right now and the people. You're going to get it.
All these headwinds when it comes to tariffs and the uncertainty and instability that conversation is bringing. What Trump said about this may induce a short-term recession reminds us, Omar, that this guy plays by a different set of rules than almost any other elected official. And that authenticity is played to his benefit to a large degree. No one else would ever say, yeah, my policy may create a recession.
Now, I want to show you what they're doing right here. I'm going to show you the economic model that the Illuminati is following right now. And this is based on a Harvard Economic Research Project, 1948. We're going to get back to the video. But reading is fundamental, and you really get to see what they're doing right now. So this is based on a Harvard Economic Research Project, 1948. Now, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of the presidents, a lot of the intellects, quote unquote intellects, come through Harvard, right? Now, 1948 says was an extension of World War II operations research, and purpose was to discover the science of controlling an economy. At first, the American economy and then the world economy. Now, what did Trump just say recently? He controls America. He controls the world. It goes on to say, it was felt that with sufficient mathematical foundation and data, it would be nearly as easy to predict and control the trend of an economy as to predict and control the trajectory of a projectile. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what they're doing right now. Anytime a president can get on the news and say something, and it changes the stock market in a heartbeat from day to day. He is power drunk right now because he's doing exactly what they were studying in the Economic Research Project 1948. And he's officially weaponized the stock market. So you're going to get educated when you come over here. This ain't just no run of the mill, some fool talking, right? We got the data. We got the sources, right? It says such has proven to be the case. Moreover, the economy has been transformed into a guided missile on target. So they have a target of where they're going. And I'm going to tell you right now where it is. It's going to digital currency. See, they have implemented military tactics in the economy. So when you hear this guy saying it's been stabilized and it shows resilience, no, that's not what's happening. They are predicting the outcome. They have the science of it. It says the immediate aim of the Harvard project was to discover the economic structure, what forces change that structure, how the behavior of the structure can be predicted, and how it can be manipulated. What was needed was a well-organized knowledge of the mathematical structures and interrelationships of investments, production, distribution, and consumption. So, ladies and gentlemen, I could read this more and more, but they're talking about this shock testing. Hold on, let's take a little break. Let's take a breather. Let me break it down. Hold on real quick. Let's get this back up. Yep. Hold on. So, hold on. So what you have here is what we call shock testing to determine shock testing. Look, hold on, let me see. Shock testing to determine the current characteristics called current technological coefficiency of a household industry. Finally, man, we gotta, well, man, we can go on and on with this. Look, the point, this is, let's get to the point here, right? What they're doing is putting a new currency in place, a new grid, a great reset. Now, a lot of what you see going on in the stock market, that junk crashing, you know, Trump says this, they're warning us of that, just to see how people going to spin in certain atmospheres, certain states, certain countries. Let me tell you what they're doing. They're aiming a projectile. They have a target goal. With all of what they're doing, there is a target goal. And that target goal is to do what? See spending habits. See how people maneuver. They're testing. It's a beta test on the minds of the people to do what? When they roll out the new system, they know how to go about it. It's a weapon. It's a weapon they're using. It's a projectile. Now, hopefully y'all got that. Y'all get it now, right? Because when you watch the news, when you have knowledge, you look at all of this differently. Let's go.
But the strong, unwavering support of his base allows him to kind of go out on a limb like that. This is something he truly believes in. And when it comes to these tariffs, he believes that the issue isn't so much that Americans are going to pay more for cars, it's that Europeans and Chinese people and Japanese folks need to buy more American cars. We buy theirs, they should buy ours. It should be fair. And if that's where we can get to eventually, I think that's a huge win. I'm probably a dwindling member of the Free Trade Republican Party, you know. There's not many of us left.
That's right. Somebody in the chat, Hitman, said it. The projections were in motion. That's facts.
I understand. But if we can use this to get fair tariffs for our products, it's a win. I don't want to see long-term tariffs that will hurt American innovation and ingenuity. It'll make us less competitive.
Well, we are going to have them long-term because nobody respects America anymore. And y'all got to keep in mind, we still have that 90-day hold. And other countries have to come to the table and speak with America. But Trump said that they were calling kissing his ass. In his words, that's what he said. He said other countries are calling and they kissing his ass. Now, who the hell want to work with Donald Trump after you say something like that? And they see how you dealing with China. They're going to go to China and deal with business. America is getting strangled right now. America is losing respect every single day. You got BRICS coming together. You got all these countries trying to find alternatives from the dollar right now. That's the reality of the situation that nobody wants to accept. But America's going downhill. It really is.
Theron, I want to pick up on that because, you know, for even some of the good economic indicators, there are a lot of economic headwinds, uncertainty around the tariffs, essentially ammo that one would think Democrats would have to sort of capitalize on. And I wonder, just from your perspective, what do you believe Democrats have the strongest case on against the Trump administration right now and the lead up to potentially the midterms?
Well, we got to tell the truth about this economy, and let's start with the tariffs. no matter how you try to spin it, these are inflationary tariffs. Every study, every economist that we talk to, and history has shown us in this country that you add on to inflation when you create tariffs.
Yep, the inflation's it's just gonna keep going up. Let's see. Raphael Wilson says, New Breed and family, we hear our praises to the Most High. Ain't got nothing to worry about. As long as we keep the faith in the Most High, we good. Absolutely. But faith without works is what? Dead. Faith without works is dead.
Trump promised us that on day one or the first week, or at least in his first 100 days, he was going to tackle immigration and he was going to lower inflation. He's failed to do that. If you really look at this report also, Omar.
Right. 3 says, can you give us history on America, how America became #1 in the first place? That's a great question there. America became #1 by pillaging, destroying, raping, mutilating, conquest, war, slavery, captivity, genocide. Now think about how America became the #1 superpower. They got it off of bloodshed. And what the Bible say? Woe to the land that's built upon blood. Well, America was built upon slaughtering people, stripping people of their natural resources. It was built on Freemasonry. I mean, built on greed, capitalism, classism, a hint of Marxism. Hey, it is what it is, right?
It talks about how job gains are really, really down. Layoffs are up. Small businesses, and particularly big businesses, should be very afraid because they've essentially been paralyzed. They can't make any bold predictions about how they're going to run their companies because you have a president who is telling us, hey, just waiting to see, trust in me for 2 years. I think the working class American.
Man, 2 years. Listen, here's the elephant in the room. Why didn't the rich get charged? Why didn't the rich get charged? Because that's what the Bible says. If this country has fundamental Christian values, why? The Bible says charge the rich. Why do we have to suffer for 2 years? Why do we have to suffer for 2 years when you got billionaires? When you got Oprah Winfrey running around? When you got Bill Gates running around? When you got Donald Trump running around? Y'all got enough billions and millions to take some tax increases. See, the question is, why does the American people got to suffer who are working diligently, day in and day out, and barely scraping by, barely making ends meet? Why do we have to pay? Because they're greedy. And they want control and power. When Trump said he controlled America and he controls the world, he's power drunk. He's feeling himself. It comes a point in time where you get so much money, so many resources, that you start craving nothing but power. And what they say about power, absolute power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts.
Hardworking families in this country are worried. A lot of them are worried about their small businesses, many of whom have become entrepreneurs. But big businesses right now are having to answer to their shareholders. And while the stock market did rally, we are seeing record low stock market activity. So those of us in this country right now, almost 70%, put our money in 401ks. We put our money in the stock market. And so now with that,
and people are going to be losing that. Double tap your screen to get the likes up. People going to be losing that. Is that fair? No. Those are hardworking citizens that put their money into the 401k. Why do they have to lose their money because the government is going rogue and they're putting all their trust into the hands of this damn dictator? If this not a totalitarian government, I don't know what is. I'm telling you, man.
Being where it needs to be, I think that we as Democrats.
Yep. Hey there says not to mention Social Security. That's a fact.
That's got to tell the truth. And more importantly, go back to strengthening the middle class and working.
That's right. Go back to this brother right here. This brother right here. He's making sense. This guy, you ain't making no. This guy right here, let me get a close up on you. You might be one of them people, man. You might be one of them entities, man. Let me see if he a reptile or something, bro. Let's make sure he ain't no. Yeah, man. But this brother making some sense right here. That's all we saying. Nobody want to wait 2 years for this man to be experimenting with the damn country. What we talking about?
Class families.
And
Look,
Brian, you know, one of the things
the American citizens did not think for a minute that they was going to elect Trump. The American citizens did not think for a red second that we was going to get Trump elected for him to experiment with us for 2 years, and we're going to be more hurt and more poor than when Biden was in office. How many people predicted that? Ain't no way.
here that we also saw is the Trump administration put out their blueprint, their budget blueprint for their priorities here. And some of the priorities, just top lines, there's boosting defense spending, including boosted spending at the border, cutting programs though for education, foreign aid, health, and the environment. At least from someone like Senator Susan Collins, who's on the Senate Appropriations Committee, it does seem like there's not 100% of Republicans are fully on board. And I wonder for you, when you hear some of those priorities, are those priorities that concern you, excite you? Where do you feel? Where do you stand here?
Well, you're looking at hundreds or thousands of items. So everybody's going to find something in there they don't want to see cut. Everybody's going to have something they hope to see further investment in. And we did get the word from Republicans on Capitol Hill immediately that the budget from the president, just like it is with every president, not just Donald Trump, is a suggestion that isn't taken too seriously by members of Congress. So that's...
Man, I ain't hearing none of that, bro. Tell that man to go sit down with China and stop playing. Tell that man to be respectful to the rest of the world leaders. And tell that man to charge the rich for our plight that we have in America. And tell that man to get a comprehensive plan for Black America, as well as the Hispanic and Native Americans. Tell that man to increase farmland, because we got 140%, well, 140,000 less farms in the last damn 3 years. We need more farms, and we need more money, and we need cheaper gas. And lower them damn eggs and them damn groceries. And we ain't trying to hear none of that. That's right. China is America's elder. Straight up. And they're going to be here after America.
Normal. But what I do appreciate as a Republican is somebody very concerned about our $30+ trillion debt. We do have to have fundamental change. We are going to have some tough decisions. We are going to have to cut some spending that we think is good, that we think is...
And Trump's, you know, this is the crazy part. Over the years, Trump have released Lil Wayne from jail on pardons. He's released Kodak Black off on pardons and all these other people on pardons. Yeah, that's cool and all that, but what about Matulu? What about all of the revolutionaries? What about all of the freedom fighters and people who are in prison right now just for speaking truth? Why don't you release them? Show us you really rock with Black America. Because we rather have Matulu Shakur than Kodak. If I'm speaking quite frank with you. How about anyway, I ain't gonna get sidetracked. That's a whole nother story. Let's go.
Efficient spending that is productive, because we're out of whack. and we cannot go on in this trajectory. I am so happy that as we're discussing tax cuts and renewing them, which I think they'll do later this year, that we're pairing it with cost cuts. That is something we must do if we're going to be serious in this country about our economic fiscal dilemma. So, look, it's a serious conversation. I give him credit for starting the conversation, showing we've got to change our ways.
And Theron, just on that front, look, we are seeing cuts to education, foreign aid, health, and the environment. It's also played out already in cuts we've seen in the federal government outside of just this blueprint. For the Democrats, I mean, where do you even begin to start to sort of say, look, the Republicans control all branches of government essentially at this point. So where do you even begin to start to sort of push back on some of these priorities that clearly the Trump administration has
well, you got to hold them accountable. And you got to also remember, Omar.
You got to hold them accountable.
That President Trump in his first term contributed to that $1 trillion debt that Brian just mentioned more.
Yeah, every president contributes to the damn debt. They just blame each other. One president gets elected, they blame the other president. Like clockwork. That's why I tell you the Democrats and Republicans are really working together against us.
Than any other president. I mean, you talk about spending. I mean, he was massive spending. But the thing that worries me the most that Democrats are talking about are the cuts to education. Let's be specific. We're talking about almost $374 million being cut in K through 12. They're eliminating these preschool programs, many of whom these working families all across the country depend on. Also, if you look at the cuts to Medicaid and to Medicare, they're through CMS, they're trying to basically abolish Medicaid, and it's under attack, and Democrats are speaking out about that. And we also got to talk about these enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies that many 24.
Man, you know what my advice is on that? Learn herbal remedies. The Bible says the plants yielding seed and the herbs are the medicine. To be honest with you, in this day and age, the only reason you should be going to the hospital at this point is if you broke a bone, broke a leg, broke an arm, or whatever. All you got to do is look at when somebody gets on medication, because that's all a hospital do. When they put you on that medication, you got all them damn side effects, shutting down all your internal organs, your kidneys, your liver, everything gets shut down. We don't need no Medicaid. We need good food. That's what we really need. We really need good food. But see, this type of satanic country don't want healthy people. Somebody said, where do you find the herbal knowledge? I got a book on that too. But the point I'm trying to make, yeah, exercise and rest is important too. But the food, we need good food. A country like this don't want to see people healthy because they don't benefit off of us being healthy. They want us sick. So we can go to these damn hospitals and need Medicaid and need it. Nah. What we need is some good food and some herbs and some rest and some exercise. Let's go.
4 million Americans right now are subject to lose if we don't extend.
And also stress is killing Americans. And most people are stressed over, you know what I'm saying? Most people are stressed over the financial situation and burdens.
These subsidies and make sure that these premiums that they could actually enhance embody don't go up. But the bigger thing is that if you look at the polling, let's get back to this. President Trump is the lowest that he's ever been. He's the lowest of any current president in his 400 days. And
that's a fact. But Republicans are so, you know what I'm saying, fixated and they're worshiping and idolizing Trump. They can't see it. And I'm not a Democrat. I'm just saying this is the facts.
In 7 decades. And so he had a very low approval rating early on in his 2016 presidency. So the American people are very fed up. They don't like the way that the Republicans are leading this country. They are waiting for Democrats to continue to be more bold. And really, if you look at what...
I'm waiting for the children of Israel to rule the world. And I'm waiting for Christ to come back and obliterate all of the heathens that went against the Most High's people. Right? That's what I'm waiting on. I ain't waiting on the Democrats to come back nowhere. All they do is pander. All they do is pacify us with government assistance. All they do is, you know what I'm saying, tell lies just like the Republican Party. Matter of fact, all they do is push all kind of inordinate sexual proclivities and alternative lifestyles, and all they do is teach nonsense in the school. Look, all of them have pros and cons. We not ready. We not waiting for no Democrats to be back in office. I'm waiting for Babylon to be judged.
Leader Hakeem Jeffries and others have been doing. Senator Cory Booker, Chairman Hakeem Jeffries, has done, talking to working class people on the steps of why.
Somebody in my last stream said, Nubreed, why you want the world to end so bad? Because we got next. You ain't heard? I want the world to end because God's people got next. Double tap the screen to get them likes up, though. Let's go.
Washington, hearing their stories, letting them give feedback, showing that they care. Those are the kind of kitchen table, sort of very succinct primary issues that we're going to focus on.
I gotta leave it there.
Man, you know what, man? Like, you know, I'm gonna say this, man. The Most High people tired of this world. Let me reverse this John back. We just straight up. I don't think the Most High wanna use anybody who lukewarm. Like, I don't think he wanna use anybody who like kind of 1 foot in the world, like they wanna, you know what I'm saying? They love this place. No, I think the Most High is working with people who hate the way things are. I think the Most High is working with people who fed up with wicked ass demonic heathens who rule these countries. I think the Most High will use those people. Hold on, let me see. Now the Democrats, I got another quick news brief here. Because the Democrats are saying that Trump is actively doing things to make the recession even worse. Let me hear what they got to say. And we're going to continue.
Heather Buchet, Senior Research Fellow at the Harvard Kennedy School, former White House Council of Economic Advisors member, and Chief Economist for President Biden's Invest in America cabinet. Heather, good to see you. So in an exclusive interview with Meet the Press, host Kristen Welker, with that host Kristen Welker, of course, President Trump addressed the economy, and here's what he said.
Some people on Wall Street have expressed concerns that the possibility of a recession is increasing. And I want to know what you think about that.
Look at his hand gestures. Y'all got to understand, man, he's a Mason just like the rest of them. Y'all got to understand he's just like the rest of them. Let's go.
Are you comfortable with the country potentially dipping into a recession for a period of time if you are able to achieve your long-term goals?
Well, you know, you say some people on Wall Street say, well, I tell you something else. Some people on Wall Street say that we're going to have the greatest economy in history. Why don't you?
Man, that's BS.
Talk about them, because some people on Wall Street say this is the greatest thing that ever happened.
That's what I'm getting at, though. It's the same question.
Yeah, there are many people on Wall Street say this is going to be the greatest windfall ever happened.
And that's my question,
Remember
the
this.
long term.
Yeah.
Is it okay in the short term to have a recession?
This. Look, everything's okay. But we are, I said.
Nah, you lying. How everything okay with you shaking your head, bro?
This is a transition period. I think we're going to do fantastically. I don't.
So how does that sound to you?
I think the rich are going to do fantastically. I think that the middle class is going to suffer as well as the poor. Anyway.
Well, I don't think that sounds pretty good. That does not sound great at all for most American families. The idea that the President of the United States has said yet again.
Presidents are always lying, bro. They all liars. You gotta understand that, man. They all liars.
That he's okay if his policies cause a recession. That's going to cause a lot of pain in the short term.
A lot of Trump supporters are very angry at me. You know what I'm saying? They very upset with me. I get a lot of like crazy messages from y'all, but y'all keep coming back watching though. It's the craziest thing in the world because you know I'm telling you the truth about y'all's idol. Y'all know I'm telling the truth.
workers, for families, for small businesses all across the country. And I think what is especially daunting listening to this statement from the president is that he is actively doing so many things that will make a recession that much more painful. When you think about the chaos that Doge's chainsaws had across the federal government, you think,
Man, Doge is responsible for most of these massive layoffs all over the world. Elon Musk, he went ahead and did his damn damage and then rolled out and went back underground with his damn AI girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? They out here pumping out all these kids through AI, through artificial intelligence. Elon out here pumping out hybrid reptilian children through robots, bro. You really can't make it up, but that's what's happening right now. You got to hit that for Elon, man.
Think about the cutbacks that they are putting forward in their budget. You think about the fact that he's focused on a tax plan that will put billionaires over families. If we have a recession, it's going to be even worse because we won't have the supports there to help families get through it. And particularly if you do things like, cut nutrition programs right now. So, it seems like a real callousness to the American experience. And, quite frankly, that's on top of him already saying that if kids can't get toys for Christmas, well, so be it. They don't need so many dolls. So there's a callousness there and a lack of sensibility about what American workers and American families really face on a day-to-day basis.
And Trump this week blamed the first quarter of his presidency's economic slowdown on his predecessor. Here's some of what Trump said this week about President Biden.
That's Biden. That's not Trump.
Man, I'm telling them, I'm tired of them blaming each other, bro. Things are messed up right now. It's Biden. It's Biden. Man, you in the office right now. Biden ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I'm going to play the audio, man.
Because we came in on January, this is quarterly numbers. This is Biden. And you can even say the next quarter is sort of Biden because it doesn't just happen on a daily or an hourly
Man, we're going to be dealing with this for years.
basis. But we're turning it around. It's a big ship to turn around.
You're an economic advisor to Biden. What's your reaction to that?
Well, there's a phrase.
That's right. I'm going to have to agree with Mr. Wildseed. It's all a distraction. Get your own. Link up with people who are like-minded. Get y'all some land. Start gardening. Get with people who see the world as you see it. These people are keeping you asleep, giving you false senses of security and false senses of hope. It's not fitting to happen the way they're saying it. America's going downhill. And I've been preaching this for the last couple years, and we're seeing it. I've been talking about shelves ending up empty. Now they're talking about it. Look, this is the irony of all this. All this stuff, I was talking about it years before the news was talking about it. We're just getting confirmation that it's coming now. Yeah, they using a lot of things to distract the people, man. They using the damn Diddy trial as well. I mean, brothers and sisters, it was written. 3 says the crazy part is people really be buying into the blame game, even though he actively is in office and he messing up exactly. And that further caused more division. Matter of fact, there is a video that I want to react to real quick. Very interesting video. Make sure I got the right one. Let me see here. Because it just brings division. No, it's not that one. Hold on. I actually reacted to this. Let me see. No, it's not that one either. It's all right. Y'all be patient with me. Man, that rain sound good outside, man. All right. Oh, man, I might not even have that video. I reacted to it yesterday. Let me see if this is the one.
Working.
No.
For what? Working for what?
It was a lady. It was a lady explaining the cult of MAGA, like how the cult actually works, because it is a cult. Like Donald Trump and Elon have a cult following, bro. No matter what they say and do, people are not gonna snap out of it. They really can't see that Trump is an actor. He was used. Is it this one? Hold on, let me see if it's this one. I think she spoke for about 3 minutes.
Bro, it's Sunday.
No, it's not that one. Y'all give me a moment. Because I didn't title these videos. So that's my fault. This is the one. Spoke about 3 minutes. This one should be the one. Yeah, that's the one right here. I want to react to what she said, right? Blow by blow, because I reacted to it quickly last video, but she said some key stuff here.
Headed for civil war. What that looks like, I have no idea. I'm quite sure it won't look exactly like the last civil war. And that said, I feel it in my bones.
How many of you all can feel that something is coming to America? You can't quite put your finger on it, but you can feel something. By show of ones, let me know.
I don't say this to scare you. Some people are going to say, oh, you're trying to be divisive. I don't need to try to be divisive. This country is divided. It's divided between the haves and the have-nots. It is divided between the cult members and the non-cult members.
And see, that's true what she just said. You know, people will always accuse you of being divisive when you just speak the truth. When you point out how divided the country really is, they call you divisive. Why? Because they want you a part of the cult. They want you sleep. They want you feeling like, you know, everything is going to be okay. They want you to be under hypnosis. They want you to be under hypnosis, where obviously things are not what's being said on the news. You know, when somebody can blatantly lie to your face, and you can see the lie because you can go check your gas prices. You can check your grocery prices, but they're lying, acting like it's not happening. They're gaslighting you. But if you're a part of this cult where you idolize these politicians, you can't see. You're blinded. Now listen to what she said, because I feel the same way.
I do not believe most of the cult members can be saved.
I don't believe that either. I do not believe most of the cult members could be saved. It's too late. And there's cults all over America. But nobody want to talk about MAGA is a cult too. It is.
Let me say it again, and I want you to listen. I do not believe most of the cult members can be saved.
I don't think so either.
That said, we are going to have to fight them with everything we have. That includes nonviolent, and it might include the other.
And you know, it's crazy because William Cooper, he spoke a lot about what she's talking about. She spoke a lot about it. Pat Jagger, if you scared, go to church. Because the church is not telling you nothing. Right?
And do I like that? No, I don't like that. Nobody wants that. I'm quite sure on the precipice of the Civil War, nobody wanted that.
Exactly. But you got to be prepared for that, because you don't know what's going to happen. That's why it's important to, you know, be ready for whatever. So you ain't got to get ready.
This cult of MAGA has infiltrated every fucking institution in America. And I don't know about you. I'm not looking for a fight, but there are days where I'm like, can we just go out in the street and get it on? Let's do it. Because I am done. We're not going back to segregation. We're not going back to this alien enemies bullshit.
Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, all the people who be in the chat saying fear monger and all that, let them say it. Listen, let me explain something to you, brothers and sisters, real quick. Real quick. They're not meant to understand us. To me, that's a weak insult. Imagine what Noah was going through when Noah was preparing his ark. Let these people type what they want to type. Let them say it. Because the truth is, they're afraid. Nobody who watches my material is afraid except for those who are meant to be afraid. We talk about preparedness. We talking about what's going on. So it's in the front of our minds, not the back. Not in our subconscious mind, but it's in the front of our minds knowing that time is drawing nigh. We got to make our moves. Them people ain't meant to understand us. Them people can say what they want to say, y'all. They're not meant to comprehend. The dark can't comprehend the light. They're not meant to get it. Yeah, like when she says the cult ain't waking up, the cult ain't waking up. They're look, the Bible says they were given over to a strong delusion that they will believe a lie. And you know what the lie is? The lie is that America will be here forever. The lie is that the government can drop nukes on countries. They can pillage, destroy, be disrespectful to other world leaders like Donald Trump has been to the other world leaders. And then America's still going to stick around as if it can't be touched. That's a delusional mindset. What goes around comes around. But let them believe the lie, because God gave them over to a reprobate mind. This is only for those who have ears to hear. Brothers and sisters, the information that come out of this platform is not for everybody. But don't block them. Don't time them out. Don't do any of that. All right, don't do it. Because a righteous person ain't going to get afraid. They're going to get busy. They're going to get busy. That's it. All right, what do I need to do? Let's think about my children's children. Let's think about the possibilities. Let's think about all the movies that they put out that was predictive programming, where martial law was implemented. Why did they put that in the movies? Why are they showing us these things? Think about all the other empires that fell, that inherited the same ideologies and philosophies as America. Why did they do all of that? And then you move accordingly if you have the eyes to see. That's right.
We're not even following the law there. You're supposed to be over the age of 14 and you can't be a natural born citizen. We have deported children now who were born in the United States. So,
yep, that is in the news. That's breaking news that America have sent over people, you know what I'm saying, packed them up and shipped them out, and they was legal citizens. So ICE out here wilding. Yep, King Connect shared that scripture. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Exactly.
you either value the Constitution and the rule of law or you don't. You either hold certain values about the society you want in common or you don't. And I just don't think these MAGA motherfuckers can be pulled back into reason. I don't.
Right. People can't be pulled back into reason. When Trump got in that office, y'all thought Jesus Christ returned. Some of y'all really thought Jesus Christ returned. Y'all really believe that? Make America great again? You tell me when America was great. Was it Jim Crow? Was it slavery? That's right. MAGA is paganism. Oh, when I do my Trump deep dive, I'm going to break down what MAGA is really about. Y'all haven't seen nothing yet. Y'all know when I want to get thorough and I want to bring something out, come to my Patreon. Patreon.com/Nubreed. I got some things in the future where I'm going to unveil everything about Donald Trump. And anybody who watches that on Patreon, y'all not going to have no questions whether or not that if MAGA is demonic or not. If Donald Trump is just a chosen Manchurian candidate, a fake revolutionary. I'm going to get back active on Rumble too, Kim C. No doubt about that.
Capable of it. I don't think they're emotionally intelligent.
MAGA stands for Make America Great Again, but America was at what point was America great? Was it slavery? Was it Jim Crow? Was it when they came and eradicated the Indians? What does he mean by Make America Great Again?
And that's societal, it's by design. And I just don't think that this ends anywhere good. I don't. I hope that eventually, if we have to go that route, that we can build back something much better, much more equitable, much fairer, because there's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, you got people really believing that Trump is going to turn America into this heavenly utopia. It's just crazy to me. You got people really believing like, yo, just give him time. He's going to turn it into a heavenly utopia. America's going to be great. It's going to be #1 again. No, it's not. It's not. The Bible says if the Most High would save Babylon, he would have already done it. It ain't finna happen. It ain't happening.
Something for the horror, the terror that comes with that. Don't sit on this, though. Don't sleep on this. Know yourself. Protect your home. Have your plans. Be ready, because this ends nowhere good.
That's just the facts. With that being said, I'm going live over there at Nubreed Universal ENT. Y'all don't want to miss it. It's finna be a movie, y'all. It's finna be a movie. Y'all go over there. Nubreed Universal ENT, man. I'll catch y'all over there. Hey, man, y'all be blessed out there. Stay safe. Stay blessed. One love to y'all. Somebody named MAGA says answer the question. What question am I answering? I ain't answering your questions. I've been in here for an hour now. Too little, too late. Anyway, brothers and sisters, more material coming. Thank each and every one of y'all. Y'all be blessed. Shalom. Peace.